once you have a molecule drawn, for example, with Marvin.js, you want to most probably step one step further and calculate important physicochemical properties for your molecule. This is what the Chemaxon calculators are all about. So they provide you with the most important properties used in drug design and drug development. We provide many of these. The most important ones for you are the different protonation functions like pK, microspecies calculation, different partitioning functions, log-P, log-D, and HLB, aqueous solubility, and many other properties you can use in your model building, in your predictions. All these calculators are combined with great flexibility, so we cover all the user level ranges. For more chemically oriented chemists, all calculators are available in Marvin, in Excel, in JChemBase. Now the new Chemicalize also offers all these calculators in a new web-based interface. In Plexus, and as we approach more the advanced or computational chemists or maybe programmers, all these calculators are available as Java API functions and different nodes in KNIME and Pipeline Pilot. So that's a brief introduction to the calculators. And now I would like to ask Ann Morga to hold her presentation. She works for the Swiss Institute of Bioinformatics, and she's building a biochemical database called RHEA, in which she uses our pK calculator to overcome the difficulties of building such a chemical database.
We are an academic group, and we are located in Geneva, in Switzerland. Today, I'd like to talk about the RHEA project. So what is RHEA? It's an expert-curated resource of biochemical reaction that has been designed for the functional annotation of enzymes, the description of metabolic networks, or omics-related analysis. RHEA is freely available. It's licensed under the CC BY 4. It's distributed under the CC BY 4 license. And it's currently used by several metabolic resources. KB, we will see more about this resource in a few minutes. Also some metabolomics project like Swiss Lipids with a specific focus on lipids, metabolites, Metanetics, which analyze genome scale metabolic network. And soon, RHEA will be used by UniProt KB, the gold standard in terms of protein sequence and functional annotation. RHEA by the number. We see during this presentation very, very big database. We have only a small database. In this last release, RHEA contains only, I would say, 11,000 reactions that involves around 10,000 compounds. But these reactions are evidenced by nearly the same number of bibliographic references. On this figure, you can see the growth of RHEA in terms of reactions, compounds, and publications. So we are linear, no exponential growth. And the traffic on the website is a little bit higher, and we have around 350,000 requests per month. The scope of RHEA, the aim of RHEA is to describe precisely biochemical reaction. Our scope is to describe enzyme catalyzed reaction, but we also need to describe some reaction that can occur spontaneously in the cell. So we need to have catalyzed and spontaneous reaction. Sorry. The source of our reaction comes from the IUBMB enzyme classification and also from literature. A few words on enzyme classification. Since 1961, the Nomenclature Committee of the International Union of Biochemistry and Molecular Biology is in charge of classifying enzymes according to the reaction they catalyzed. There are 6 enzyme classes: oxidoreductases, transferases, hydrolases, lyases, isomerases, and ligases. This classification has a fixed depth of 4. We have 4 levels. So the NC-IUBMB committee for each enzyme provide a recommended name, an identifier, which is called the EC number. This is a 4-digit number, and this number represents the different level of the enzyme classification. So for instance, for this enzyme, it's a transferases transferring 1 carbon groups, hydroxymethylformyl and related transferase, and here we have the specific enzyme. Additionally to this name and this EC number, IUBMB also describes the chemical reaction, but this reaction is represented only as a textual equation, and sometimes it's described in natural language. Today, we have more than 6,000 complete EC numbers in this classification. This classification is very used by our biologist community, but it suffers from some limitation, I would say. It's sometimes very difficult to classify enzyme because the reaction catalyzed by this enzyme does not belong to one of this group. And the other problem is the textual representation of the reaction. The lack of structural data has some trouble with the consistency. So we already have some discussion about naming issue. It's a very strong problem for us, as a chemical entity can be named differently in different reactions. I forgot to mention that Christian Axel Sell, which is one of the main curators in REA, is part of the IUBMB enzyme nomenclature committee, so is also involved in the creation of this new EC number. So what is the REA curation process? When a curator starts from this textual representation of the reaction, the first step will be to come back to the original paper, then to explicitly define the reaction participant using the KB resource. We heard about Campbell. KB is another resource developed by the EMBL-EBI at Cambridge. KB is a dictionary providing name and synonyms as well as structural data. KB is also an ontology providing several relationships. And KB, as Campbell, is freely available. The problem that we have is in KB, the same molecule can be represented, molecule can be represented in different states with different identifiers. So which compound do we select in a consistent way to be sure that we will develop a non-redundant database? If these chemical entities are linked by relationship, we can see that in KB we have classical relationship, either as part, but they also provide some chemically specific relationship, is conjugate base, is tautomer off. So we can navigate easily in KB with this relationship, but it does not tackle the issue of selecting one of these compounds in a consistent way. So in the REA project, we decided to normalize KB compound by using the major microspecies at pH 7.3. Why pH 7.3 and not 7 or 7.5? It's just that when we started this project, we use the pH 7.3, we use the same pH as one of our competitor, Metapsych, pathway resource that was developed by Peter Karp at SRI. Our developers set up a compound normalization process. So the first step is to compute the major microspecies using Chemaxon plugin. We use Marvin Java API 6.2.0 since a few years. We use, as I told you, the pH of 7.3 and all the other parameters by default. Then the second step is to map this normalized structure to the not normalized structure to the normalized structure in KB. So to do this step, we use Inchi and Smile to perform this mapping. We use the non-standard Inchi program to compute Inchi with the fixed edge layer that allows to distinguish the tautomers, and we use the Chemaxon unique smiles to distinguish the isomer. This mapping is stored into the RIA database, and by this way, it's possible. We enforce that only the normalized compound will be used to create the reaction. In the case of our D-alanine compound, this is the D-alanine sweet variant, which is the normalized compound. We do not want to use this name in our chemical reaction, in our chemical equation. So in KB, we have a specific synonym called the uniprot name, and we can define our name, and we will use this name in our reaction. So by this way, KB can change its common name and without any consequences for RIA. Using this process, we can ensure that RIA is non-redundant and is chemically balanced for mass and charge, which is not the case for some other metabolic resources like KEGG or BIG. In order to ensure high quality, RIA reactions are double-checked. So we have a cycle of review, submission, then review before any approval. And I would like to say that RIA curators also greatly participate to the KB resource. Since the beginning of this project, we have submitted more than 10,000 compounds in KB. So we also have a cyclic process. So RIA curators submit compounds to KB. These compounds have a specific status. They are reviewed by KB curators before approval. So to cover the scope of RIA, the biochemical reaction we have to manage, we need 3 kinds of participants. Small molecule, RIA generic, and RIA polymer. Let's start with small molecules. So we need 2 kinds of small molecule. Fully defined small molecule like this D-alanine, but also some more abstract compound like a D-amino acid, where this R group is representing any side chain of a D-amino acid. I have to say that around 10% of the small molecule used in RIA are such abstract reactions. So because the biochemical reactions are not so fully defined. Here is an example of 2 RIA reactions using these 2 small molecules. We can see that some of these participants are linked together through either relationships that are provided by the KB resource. If the other compounds are identical, we can clearly identify that these 2 reactions are linked together by an either relationship. So let me give you some information on the RIA classification. This classification will extend enzyme classification. These 2 reactions are catalyzed by enzymes that are at the same level in the enzyme classification. We can extend this classification by providing additional level because we can see that this reaction is clearly an instance reaction of this more generic reaction. This classification has been introduced in 2016. We have an internal procedure that exploits Kb relationship and propose a list of reaction relationships to the REA curator. The REA curator will review this list before introduction into the REA database. Today, around 15% of our reactions are classified. In the future, in our to-do list, we would like to obviously introduce some automated classification based on the structure. So this is something we are working on. Then come back to our reaction participant. As I told you, we also need to manage macromolecules. So the second class, the second category of reaction participants are REA generic. Kb is focusing on small molecule of biological interest. It does not cover this kind of macromolecules. So we simplify this macromolecule by representing only the functional group involved in the reaction. This functional group is a Kb entity, and we completely forget the rest of the macromolecule. Once, because we have no information on these proteins or this tRNA. So on this slide, you have an example of a generic representing a protein. So the protein is only represented by a serine residue modified by a pentathenine phosphoryl group and the attached alanyl functional group. And in this case, this is a case of a modified tRNA residue. By this way, we are able to represent quite complex reaction, like this reaction catalyzed by D-alanine protein ligase. And here, in orange, you can see the correspondence with the protein and the Kb residue that represent the REA generic. And once again, we can ensure that our reactions are chemically balanced. This slide shows you a reaction page from the public website. It summarizes the curation performed in REA. So additionally to the reaction, we also have cross-reference to other metabolic resources. These cross-references are manually curated because as the biochemical reactions are described in textual representation, it's a question of interpretation of this knowledge, and we do not have always exactly the same reaction in the different metabolic reaction resource. So it's challenging to be able to reconcile all this data, and in REA, for the cross-reference, we do it manually, so we curate this cross-reference. I show you that we only provide relationship between the reaction, and it's also the list of citations that evidence the reaction. So now let's start with an application of REA, the use of REA for enzyme annotation. UniProt is the main project of the SwissProt group. UniProt is a consortium of 3 partners, EBI, PEER, Protein Information Resource from the Georgetown University, and SIB. The objective, the goal of this group is to provide the most comprehensive, high-quality, freely available protein sequences and functional annotation. There are 2 parts in UniProt Kb. The SwissProt part, which is manually annotated and reviewed, and the Tremble part, which is automatically annotated and not reviewed. 500,000 of sequence for this part, 108 million of sequence for this part. The SwissProt group is involved in this part. In SwissProt, nearly half of the sequence are enzymes. So this is really important to have a dedicated resource to annotate this reaction in UniProt. In this slide, you can see an entry, a protein entry from the UniProt website. Currently, enzyme annotation is represented, the chemical reaction catalyzed by the protein is described as a text. Very soon, this text will be replaced by REA reaction. It will provide a more controlled vocabulary, and it will provide better consistency. We know that reactions are balanced, and we will use always the same name in all the reaction the compound is involved. So by introducing chemical structure into a resource like UniProt, it's like a bridge between the bioinformatic world and the chemoinformatic world. I show you some of the aspects of the public website. Additionally to this public website, we also provide export of REA in our FTP site. Reaction participants are published, are distributed as a separate mol file or SD file. The reactions are exported in RxN or RD format. We do not yet provide RNG, as we saw yesterday with the GERT presentation. We also provide some TSV file to distribute the cross-reference and the relationship between the reaction. There's two other formats, BioPax Level 2 and RDF, are web semantic new technology. And BioPax is a data exchange format that is dedicated to pathway, biological pathway. We use it at the beginning for REA, but it's not very suitable. So now we have developed our own RDF format to really represent the information that are contained in RDF. REA is also available for web services. And since 1 month, we have a Sparkle endpoint, a beta version of our Sparkle endpoint to query our REA in RDF format. I'm not sure that I will have enough time to present you this Sparkle endpoint, but if you have any question regarding this new technology, please don't hesitate to contact us. Thierry Lombardo, who is the lead developer of REA, is also attending to the meeting, so you can also discuss with him. So I show you some of the main aspects of the REA project. To conclude, I would like to say that Chemaxon is a key component in our project. We see that the REA curators have a great use of Marvin's sketch to submit the compound to KB. We use a lot Chemaxon computation, pKa, major microspecies, SMILES formula, and so on. And in our to-do list, we wanted to evaluate ChemLocator on scientific papers for REA curation. So during this meeting, I already learned about ChemLocator during the workshop meeting, and I also have a lot of discussion with on our project. So this is something we will really consider in the future. Now I'd like to acknowledge people involved in REA. As I told you, these people, we are from the SwissProt group in Geneva. This group is co-directed by Ioannis Xenarios and Alan Bridge. But we are also working very closely with Vitality, a group located in Lausanne that is also directed by Ioannis Xenarios. Some of the curation people are from the two groups. Additionally to Christian Axelsen, I mentioned, the other curator mentioned in here are in the Swiss Lipids project. So in REA, we have a specific focus on lipid reaction. Software development is led by Thierry Lombardo. He is supported by Nicolas Dasky and by two people from EBI, from the protein function group. we also have a lot of interaction with the EMBL-EBI Quebec group. Reaccuration database, website development are supported by SIP funding. The website is, the public website is deployed and hosted at EBI in the UniProt protein cluster, and it's supported by EBI fund. So thank you for your attention.
Hi, thank you. Super interesting.
Thank you.
You show two reactions that are basically the same, but one is a more generic version of it.
Yeah.
Would it make sense to store that in a kind of hierarchical way, so that you could follow the hierarchy back and see all the other species of the same generic reaction?
Yeah, this is what we are doing. So it's not in the enzyme classification, but in REA, it's what we are doing. We are storing this reaction in hierarchical way.
Perfect.
Thank you.